So in Kabul, posters of women are being covered, painted black. Women have also been asked to cover up from head to toe. Men, of course, they've had their heads shaved off. The question remains, why? Is this perhaps just a glimpse of Taliban 2.0 in Afghanistan? An eerie calm prevails over Kabul while there was no violence reported, but those left behind live in fear.
A rare sight in Kabul, women staging protests demanding representation in whatever new regime that will rule Afghanistan. Interestingly, the demonstration by women was held as gunmen hovered in the background. What the future holds for the ordinary Afghan is still uncertain.
Right now, the streets of Kabul are pretty much calm. No presence of Afghan security forces on the streets. We see a sporadic presence of Taliban. They're driving around in security vehicles. They have some checkpoints. We have not heard of any reports of any violence anywhere in the city today. Let's see how long it holds.
On Tuesday, the Taliban declared general amnesty, asking government staff to return to work, saying they will not be harmed and there will be no reprisals. Amidst the eerie silence and precariousness, some images that surfaced were frightening reminders of the Taliban's medieval methods, especially against women and civilians. The heads of these men were publicly shaved on roads and their faces blackened by Taliban men for sins unknown. Will the Afghans be pushed into the dark ages again? The scenes at Kabul airport reflect the fear that the Taliban will let loose another reign of terror once they form the government in Kabul. Bureau Report, India Today.
Aisha Tanzim, we saw your report earlier today. You were differently attired, but now that Taliban say women can return to work, they can work according to Sharia law. Is that reassuring for women on ground? What do you make of it?
Well, we also saw, and you probably saw and have reports of Afghan women working for Afghan channels, let's say Tolo and etc., now anchoring as they used to before, TV shows. Taliban gave interview to a couple of women journalists, both from international media and now this Tolo news reporter as well. As you saw, I was differently attired. That is not how I drive around Kabul usually. Under Taliban, I did that as a precaution because I wasn't sure how the group would react to seeing me, if I wasn't wearing those clothes. I think everybody is waiting and watching. I haven't heard of, the Taliban. We have yet to see a woman walk out without fully covered, being fully covered. So we have to wait and watch and see how the group reacts if a woman walks out without an abaya. In Kabul, to be very honest, I've been coming to Kabul for 6 years now. And I have never seen an Afghan woman on the street, and almost never seen even foreigners when they go out in Kabul, they cover their head. It's not as covered as I was in that video you just saw, yes. But you wear a headscarf which covers like at least half your head, and you wear a long tunic. So you don't see, covering your head at least partially was the norm in Kabul. Since the Taliban arrived, women have started covering their head fully and started wearing longer, the full abaya, so rather than
Are they stepping out? Are they going for work? Is there apprehension? Because some reports that we see either on social media or otherwise seem to indicate that parents don't want their daughters to step out. Is this fear unfounded? Is this uncalled for? Or is there a diktat, even if it's hush-hush?
It is not a diktat. Taliban have said multiple times, and Zabiullah Mujahid, their official spokesman, had a press conference in Kabul today in which he announced that the war has ended and everybody, including the translator who worked for foreigners, are all pardoned, and that women should work in different and will work in different sections of society. He also asked Afghans to not leave the country. The panic that you see at the airport, he said educated Afghans are needed to work in Afghanistan. And he basically said that they've ordered that no one should be harassed in Kabul, and those who are living in hiding, the people that you're referring to, should come out and resume their normal lives, and media should operate freely, except that since he announced it's a Muslim country, they should not broadcast against Islam and they should not broadcast against national interest. Now, the thing is, and they also promised security to embassies and everything else. But you're talking about people staying inside. Yes, that is true. A lot of people, including some of our local reporters, were staying inside ever since Taliban entered the city because nobody knew how they would behave. That anxiety level has gone down. Some of our local reporters who hadn't stepped out, and I'm talking male reporters, not even females right now. So everybody was hunkering down, waiting and watching to see how the Taliban behaved. They felt safe enough that some of them stepped out and went out and shot video, and some of them interviewed Taliban. So as for women, they're also taking precautions like I did, like other international female reporters did. They also covered themselves fully in a way that they did not do in Afghanistan previously. So everybody is taking baby steps to watch and see how the group would react to certain things, and then they would take the next step. I mean, with the definitions of all these things, freedom of press, women going out to work, women doing their jobs, what is the Taliban's definition of it, and what is their red line? Since we don't know clearly, everybody's kind of being very cautious about it. But so far, we don't have any reports of the group harassing anyone, and we don't have any reports of violence in the city. I mean,
not even anything from the interiors. So we're getting to hear some bits of information about Kabul, but what about Kandahar, for example, or Mazar-e-Sharif, or any other place across Afghanistan? Any reports filtering in?
Well, to be very honest, there were some reports. The reports that filtered in are unconfirmed, because the problem we are having is because when Taliban advanced, a lot of journalists, out of fear, the same kind of fear and panic you see in Kabul, a lot of them evacuated to Kabul. So we don't have independent journalists out in those areas. And any reports that I've seen on social media, I personally have not been able to confirm. I'm not saying they're wrong. I'm just saying I, as a journalist, have not been able to confirm it. There were some reports that were not confirmed, but I will be very honest with you. I have been outside in Kabul so much, and I was so focused on what was happening on the ground in the capital, that I have not had the opportunity to really pay attention to what's happening in the provinces, because really this is the seat of the government. So because I was on the ground reporting, and I was like roaming around.
What are fears that women have they shared their fears with you? Is the anxiety level still that high that people want to just get a visa to any country and leave even now?
So yes, there is a lot of anxiety, especially among activists, especially among minorities, especially among people who worked for foreign NGOs, foreign governments, and they still want to get a visa and get out. However, the anxiety level that we saw on Sunday and Monday, and even Saturday, the day before the Saturday when Taliban came to close, there was a lot of anxiety and there was a lot of fear. And that's why we're seeing the panic and the thousands around the airport. These are the people who bought tickets and now just want to get on a flight out. Again, a lot of these people are saying we don't know how the Taliban will behave in future, and they're being very peaceful now, but will this continue? What happens in a week? What happens in a month? We don't know. A lot of people told me they want to leave now and watch the situation from abroad, and if they feel like it has settled down enough, they may come back. And then some people said they want to leave and just stay away.
Interesting. Aisha, stay on with me. I have more information that's coming in from across Afghanistan in terms of the weapons that Taliban now have access to.